Hi guys, I'm Tanya and I'm the social media manager here at Pebblebee. And today we're going to talk about traveling with cats with our friend Safrina. You can follow her as Kimojito on Instagram. And she's our cat lover, expert, and queen. She knows lots about cats. So yeah, if you want to know more, please don't forget to follow her. And before we get started, we want to ask you, have you traveled with your pets? What was the experience like? Would you do it again? What are the tips or recommendations you can give us? Because we want to know more about this topic. And yes, please tell us in the comments. I'm going to be reading you guys. And in the meantime, let's wait for Safrina to join.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you so much for another chance to talk to you. Yeah, we want to learn more from you and everything you know about cats, So I think today, yeah, we're going to talk about traveling with cats. I think it's a great topic for this summer. And yeah, for the people who is watching us, please tell us in the comments, what are your plans for this summer with your pets? We want to know. And yeah, let's get into the topic. So I want to ask, do you travel a lot with your cats?
We do travel quite a bit. I wouldn't say a lot. It just depends on the weather,
Right. Yeah. That's totally true. Yeah. I think in my experience, I don't know. I haven't. I think if I have to take a plane, I'd rather leave my dog with my friends or family instead of bringing him with me. I think, I get more anxious that he would, I don't know. I don't know why. I think it's one of the reasons why I haven't done it, because I don't know how many things I should bring with me or what should I do.
Right.
So
yes.
Yeah, I think this session is going to be very helpful for pet parents. So yeah, I wanna start with this question. So let's start with the careers. So what are the best types of careers for traveling with cats?
I would say the best type of carrier would be something that your cat is comfortable in. So it doesn't matter if it's a backpack or a traditional, hard case carrier or a soft case carrier. It doesn't really matter as long as your cat is comfortable,
right,
and has enough space to lay around or move around and not be too constricted.
That's
Because
true.
ultimately, as long as your cat is comfortable, that is what's going to make your travel smooth, right?
That's true. Yeah. I think there are a lot of things to consider, because I think each type of career has its own advantages and drawbacks. So
sure.
I think we have to know our pet to to take into consideration some personal preferences and travel needs. So yeah, everything you say, you're right. So please, pet parents, don't forget don't go with a pretty career. Go for the comfortable one.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah. So how we can prepare cats for a long car or plane ride?
Okay, so we haven't flown yet, but we've done a lot of car travel and boats and rafts and whatnot, ferries and things like that. So I think the first thing you would need to do is prep way ahead of time. You don't want to start a week before you leave or anything like that. I would say practice way before. So take the time to get your pet comfortable in the carrier. Do some test runs if you can. Like if you're going in a car, take them to a pet store, or even before that, make sure they're comfortable in the vehicle, because sometimes it's not so much like the car. Sometimes it's the movement or the sounds, or things like that, right? So it's always good to practice way before. Don't expect your pet to just be laying around in the carrier and just be comfortable, right? So just
totally.
preparation is key. Traveling with pets is not something you could just do like that and hope everything works out. It takes a lot of planning. So just be prepared. Practice as much as you can.
That's totally true. I think it can be very complex, because I think we need to ensure they have all the necessary comforts and essentials for the journey. And I believe using also calming supplements. Like I will say, like Stress Gold, from Pebblebin, I will say it's a great option for pets facing long trips. I have to say, yeah, bringing Stress Gold with you guys can help manage their anxiety, agitation, or even, aggression during these routine changes. Because yeah, it's always hard for them to, to have these long trips. So as pet parents, if you aren't sure how your pet will react, it's a reliable solution to have on hand. So please, pet parents, don't forget always to consider supplements for your pet. So
yeah, and also, like I would say, it's not just like getting things ready for the pet. You also want to make sure your vehicle is prepped to the, to make sure they're comfortable. So there's a lot to consider, like what you have in your car, the space, things you're carrying. So don't forget prepping your vehicle as well.
What are the essentials items you should, we should pack for a cat when traveling?
I think one of the most crucial things you should do before you even start your travel plans is to make sure that your pet is microchipped, because even the best plans, could derail. There could be an accident. Your pet could get out. So make sure they're chipped, or you have your IDs, your collars, tags, and any kind of identification, which is really important. One of the things we always, no, Kitty, you don't need to sniff that. Sorry.
It's all good.
She's giving me tips from over here. One of the other things we always carry is a small first aid kit.
Yeah.
So, just like a travel size first aid kit, lots of the kits also come with like instructions. So, if you're not sure what to do, at least you have something ready and available.
Right.
Another really important one is wipes. So we always carry pet wipes because we've had many accidents that happen in the car, either it's peeing or poop or puke. Yeah. We've had all three at the same time. So there's, so always be prepared with wipes. The other thing you could probably take is, of course, their food supplies. So any kind of a collapsible food bowl, water bowl, poop bags, obviously. And then we also carry like a little hand vacuum in our car. Mm-hmm. So, because for us, we have to carry a full-size litter box because they have to use the litter box on the go. So even if we're just going for like a 5-10 minute car ride somewhere, that litter box goes with us.
That's very helpful. Yeah. You got to think about everything.
Yes. So, like when they use the litter box, they get onto the car seat and you have all the litter, kind of scattered, right? Yeah. So hand vac is really important. And also, like I mentioned before, like making sure if it's a car, like making sure it's ready with like a waterproof backseat cover, things like that. We have so many levels, like we'd put the waterproof cover, then we have like a couple of blankets.
Yeah.
Like as much as we can to not only protect the vehicle from like, accidents, but also making sure your pet is comfortable. So, removing all the extra stuff out and just keeping things clean and clear for them to, sleep on the floor or whatever. So just essentials like that to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's very important. These are all great tips. So how we can keep our cat calm and, comfortable during this journey?
This I find you have to kind of test it out because each cat is so different. Because even with us, like Kitty is a very anxious traveler, so she gets motion sickness. She likes to be like close to us and she'll put her paw on like the driver or something and just kind of do things like that. Lynx, on the other hand, is a really good traveler because he just wants to curl up somewhere and sleep. So you have to know your pet because they all won't travel the same way. To keep them calm, I would say if you're like driving somewhere, to take many breaks as you can. If you're traveling by yourself and you have your pet restrained, like in a carrier or a backpack and whatnot, take the break so you can give them some time to stretch their legs, because not a lot of cats like being enclosed for a longer period of time, right? I mean, they'll start meowing and making lots of noise.
Yeah.
So give them that break time to kind of stretch their legs. If
Yeah.
if your pet is somewhat of an anxious traveler, like you can always talk to your vet to get some kind of like motion
Yeah.
sickness pills or anything like that. Like we don't really believe in drugging them with like
Yeah.
gabapentin
For
or
sure.
something like that because that kind of makes them really drowsy. But you can also talk to your vet, and then of course you can use calming supplements, which are really helpful.
Right. Yeah.
Just make sure that the environment that they're in is as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
We personally, like, this is a very controversial thing because we don't restrain them in the car only because there's always two of us.
Right.
But if someone was driving alone, obviously we'll restrain them. But because there's two of us,
Yeah.
we put like a little, like a Heidi bed in the back seat so they can crawl in and sleep, and that we
That's
find
good.
worked quite well to kind of relax them, and because they're
Yeah.
enclosed, they feel a bit safer. So that
Right.
also helps calm them.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I think it's challenging because we have to consider both their physical and emotional needs. And
Mhm.
I think all the tips you gave us are excellent. Bringing toys, items that remind them of home. Offering plenty of treats. And
Right.
of course, using calming supplements is also a good option. So I highly recommend it. They
Yeah.
can make a very big difference. So
Yeah. What I will add is like when it comes to giving them a lot of treats and such, again, you have to know your pet because
right.
if your pet has motion sickness, giving them treats and such will just
It's good.
make them throw up, right?
Yeah.
Throughout
Right.
the journey. So, which is why like doing short practices will be really helpful because then you kind of know, is my pet like an anxious traveler? Do they get motion sickness? Will they throw up, in
Yeah.
the car? Things like that. So.
Yeah, that's good. So pet parents, always remember to check on your pet regularly, during your trip to ensure that they have everything they need so we can all be happy. Okay, so so what are some tips for finding pet friendly accommodations?
But this one's tricky because a lot of hotels or Airbnbs, sometimes they say pet friendly, but that doesn't mean cat friendly. It's always
Oh,
dog.
really? Wow, I didn't
So
know that.
when you're Googling things or looking up places to stay, if it says pet friendly, always call them or email them to confirm if it's cat friendly. We've
Wow,
kind of booked lots of places where they would say pet friendly, but then it's always dogs only.
that's so bad.
Um,
Wow.
so just kind of take that extra time to confirm.
Yeah.
The other thing I will say is just be realistic with your travel plans. Because
Yeah.
in with hotels, like most of the time they have a set amount of pet friendly rooms. So you may not always get, like if
Yeah.
you're looking for a room in a higher level or
Right.
something, sometimes it's not always the case.
Yeah.
Most of the places we've stayed at, usually the pet friendly rooms are in the bottom floor. So, because the pet will have access to the outside and it's,
Right.
things like that. So just kind of confirm with your accommodation place and
Yeah.
just be realistic about your plans. If you're traveling with pets, it's not always going to work out the way you want, like in
Yeah.
terms of
Yeah.
plans,
Let's
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah,
you kind of have
let's
to
get
go
real.
with,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to go with kind of their time schedule. You're not going to be able to, make
Yeah.
if you're like very rigid with your travel plans, you have to be flexible.
Yeah. I think this question is a question that many of us wanted to know for this summer. So there's a lot of things to take into consideration. So
Mhm.
wow, how we can manage feeding and litter box needs while on the road,
Um, this, like for us, it's definitely been trial and error. We've like when we started at the beginning, there were times where we, didn't even think of taking a litter box at the beginning, and then Kitty especially would have
Yeah.
an accident in the back seat. And then one time we thought, okay, it's not that far, maybe she'll be okay. That was,
Oops,
bad
no.
idea. So, so now we always take the litter box.
Yeah.
You can it depends. A lot of pets are okay with using a travel size litter box. Like you can get really good portable travel size litter box that you can kind of fold up and put in your bag and then, unfold and use it when you need.
Right.
Um, so those, especially if you're like flying, those things probably would make more sense, obviously.
Yeah.
Other than that, when it comes to feeding, again, you need to know your pet. If they're the type who will like eat and then the motion might, make them throw up and things like that. So ideally, it's best if you don't feed them a lot before you start traveling. Which is why in those little breaks, when you take little breaks, you can give them obviously water and treats and things like that, but don't overdo it until you get to your destination.
Wow. I didn't know this. Yeah. I think it's also a good reminder because it's good to stick to your pet's regular feeding. Do you think it's necessary, or like they can wait long periods of time?
Again, like this would depend, right? Like how long you're
Right.
on the road. Like our longest road trip was about 12 hours. So we drove from Edmonton to Vancouver.
Yeah.
But obviously we took so many breaks in between, and then we stopped for the night. We try and keep to their regular feeding times, not on the road. Like if we're stopping for the night, then they have the dinner. Yes, exactly. Not so much on the road. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so what should we do if our cat gets anxious or scared while traveling? Because this can happen, right?
Yeah, for sure. Even like the most seasoned travel cat can get anxious for sure. What I will say is for a lot of folks, because they see a lot of things on Instagram and they're like, hey, maybe I can try it with my cat. Please don't like take your cat and just put them in the car and then drive off, because that will just really stress them out, especially if they're not used to it. Some cats do take to traveling quite easily, but you always want to associate the car or the whatever you're driving, like make sure it's a positive experience, right?
Yeah, that's true.
If you're only taking your cat to the vet in your vehicle and your cat is freaked out, then already your cat is associating your vehicle with going to the vet, and maybe it's not very pleasant. So which is why, like, take the time to practice, make sure they're comfortable. Even if you're not driving, like I know some folks recommend just put them in the car, sit with them, let them kind of, explore the vehicle. Then you can start the car and let them kind of get used to the noise. Then maybe take like a 5-minute drive just so they can get familiar. So you have to put in the time and the effort to make sure they're comfortable, because ultimately,
we never know.
Exactly. You're in a moving vehicle, you don't know what would happen. So making sure their safety is like the biggest concern, right? When you're on the road. So
absolutely. Yeah.
Put the time and work to making it a positive experience. Then it'll be good for everybody.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. I think these are all great tips. I agree with everything you said. And I think as pet parents, we need to be aware of all the needs they will have when traveling with us, and always keep an eye on them. Breaking our pet's routine can be very, very challenging, especially so we have to be ready and prepared. So, oh my God, thank you so much, Safrina, for your time. Really, and for more cat tips and pet parents watching us, if you have any more questions, please follow Kitty Mojito or DM us for specific supplements recommendations. So thank you again, Safrina, for your time.
Thanks, Tanya. It's always great chatting with you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.